Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me for tonight's show. I'm Solreta and I'm so excited that we now have the community over on Mesa on Jupiter. So I've just joined and I've just shared my first post, and I can see a few of your familiar faces in there. And yeah, congratulations to Tim winning tonight. I know you already have the mug, but it'd be lovely to see one of the t-shirts for you. And we have the cockatoos that are joining us. They're finally waking up. You may have heard them a little bit in the last show too. So, yeah, thank you everyone for joining. And yeah, lovely to see you all. Thank you also for those of you that were at the last show too. I could see Tim, you were at the last show. And some other familiar faces, Rainbow Sun. So tonight is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be fun. We're going to have, not that it's not fun usually, but we're going to have the added element of doing this meditation together tonight. And for those of you on the other side of the world, it'd be a lovely way to connect and to send off to bed as well. So let me get into sharing a little bit first. And just going to bring this up. So yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about multidimensional travel plus the bonus meditation. I do want to remind you guys, for those of you that haven't registered now for gaining access to the Atlantis activation that Elena will be doing. This is going to be amazing, especially because so many of us have past lives that are connected, not only together as a community, but a lot of the starseeds that we see on the planet at the moment have also been here for times of Atlantis and Lemuria. So this is going to be an amazing activation. I can't wait to do it with you all as well. And I also want to remind you guys that if you do want to book a session with me, I have 10% off using the discount code Jupiter. So each reading comes with an aura drawing. So we have a look into the energy field around you. And for me, color is another language. So depending on where it's placed in your auric field will tell us a lot of information about what's coming in, what's going on, how we can shift or change or quantum jump certain things. So yeah, that will be included in both readings. Starseed reading is more focused on your mission and mission and origin of where you're connected in terms of galactically speaking. With the mystical oracle, this is more kind of me working as a modern day oracle. So just like we would have seen in Greece, like with the Oracle of Delphi, and we're going to do a show on that very soon too. So that will be fun. And just for those of you that are on here, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. You can see here's the Oracle show just coming up really shortly. So make sure to hit that notification button for a few days' time to make sure that you're going to be receiving everything. So let me just pop this little window down. And you can see some of the cockatoos having some breakfast out there. So my idea with these shows, and I can see the gorgeous Vicky here, and Jake, thank you for joining us. Oh, and Amanda, you just signed up for the activation. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us here. And I can see there's a few of you that will be doing the activation with us as well. So my idea for this show has been part of my world since the earliest times that I can remember, whether it's having mandalas appear in my bedroom as a child, just sort of suspended in the air, or having beings pop in and out of different dimensions or portals. And for those of you guys that are starseeds or have had alien abduction type experiences or visitations, or where you've consciously gone on board UFOs and things, and I know some have had positive and some have had not so positive experiences. But what I've noticed is there is sort of like a bit of a collective of a few of us that have had, whether it's going through portals at nighttime, and I just saw one of my favorite numbers, portals at nighttime, or where you've had sort of like different energies come in multidimensionally and interact. Yeah, definitely busy today, but it's so much fun joining you guys in the community as well. So this is a book called Beyond Ascension. You can see there's lots of notes in here. This is actually one of my books from college days, and it is by Joshua David Stone. And it's called Beyond Ascension, How to Complete the 7 Levels of Initiation. So in this, and I'll just hold up the back, he does have quite a few books. He's since passed, but you can see it's how to complete the 7 levels of initiation. So there is other books that he has in the series, but essentially some of the topics covered are the 7 levels of initiation, how to build your light quota, new ascension techniques, core fear matrix removal programs, which we were talking about, to do with our beautiful new community chat, really choosing like what we want to tune into, the ultimate ascension meditation, and the 24 dimensions of reality. So there is, I guess, always going to be dispute into how many dimensions and things like that there is, or how many different, I look at it as sort of like vibrations or kind of tones and things, and I'll share some videos a little bit into it. Tonight, I also want to make sure to ask questions. So if you do have questions, we'll save them for a little bit further on where I can keep an eye on them at the same time and maybe put them in all caps. But this is his representation and probably one of the first physical maps that I came across. So this is the cosmic map, and you will see many others like online that sort of depict the different things. So you can see here, it says 49 dimension, Elohim council, 12 mighty Elohim creator gods, 48 dimension, I think it says, or 49. But yeah, you can see here, you've got the Godhead, you've got the cosmic council of 12, and then you can see here many different levels. So anyway, this is just like one kind of like model. We also see here, there's like Lord Maitreya, Santa Kumara, different masters, different ascended masters. Also, when I see ascended masters, because, working with clairvoyant vision, they usually are from the shoulders up. But for anyone, and talking on this topic, and for what we're sort of touching on tonight, I want to make sure that you guys understand, and I know a lot of you do, because you're familiar with working in this way or meditation, that discernment is always the best and highest thing that we can do. So any energy that comes into our field, or when we set an intention to meditate or to astral travel or collectively travel like we're going to do tonight, I always say, protection is of the highest. So we are sovereign beings of light. We do have our own free will. And so I always say, let's start by just popping ourselves in a little golden bubble and just sort of setting that intention that we're protected and held within that safe space and frequency. And yeah, you can see it definitely is like an in-depth chart. And I'm not saying it's 100% like perfect or the way that I sort of see things, because, living down here in this third dimensional reality, we can sort of get glimpses or insights into the way that things kind of work cosmically. And there's a lot of different books that you'll see written on like spiritual hierarchy, angels, seraphim, and so on and so on. You will see them talk about in this book visiting ascension seats, or meditating and asking to go to the Buddhic plane or the Atmic plane. So different layers and levels of consciousness. Lovely to see some other familiar faces here as well. Thank you guys for joining us. So with this, I do have a few to get into. I've also written some notes about like false matrix and things as well. So, this is where discernment comes back. So if you are interacting or sense or feel any different energies around you, I always say use that insurance policy, which is the shamanic technique, to just say, are you here for my best and highest good? Always say it 3 times, because you will get that kind of vibration start to shift if something doesn't love you unconditionally, or is perhaps a trickster being, or not there for your best and highest good. And I just want to bring this pick back into, I know we've had this on one of the other shows that we've done. I think it was on the Vedic one. So if you haven't seen that, I go a little bit more, or I go a lot more in depth on the Vedic show, talking about different levels and layers of consciousness. This one was actually first shown to me by an Aboriginal elder, talking about how this is a very similar model to what he believes that like we're existing in, and like the different dimensions. So yeah, we also know about like information around like rainbow light bodies traveling in our Merkaba, things of this sort of topic we've covered in some of the other shows. Oh, thank you, Tim. Let me just bring up another screen share so we can get through a few things. And I'll just see where we're at. Just making sure we're starting on the right end of things. Okay, perfect. All right, let me just bring this up. Might take a little second. And so this is, I am sort of like an older student when it comes to theosophy and things like this. And I definitely believe that I was around in that time. Interesting that Alice Bailey was born 100 years before I was. And yeah, there's a few little connections and things there too that I won't get into. But yeah, you can see here how she has like a different map. And obviously someone's modernized it because she did die. Oh gosh, I think it might have been in the 40s. I would have to look that up. But you can see there's the different levels of mind, there's the different developmental stages. We've got different types. So this was on Soul, what was it? soulospirit.com. So if you type in like Alice Bailey's integral map, you'll be able to find things like this. This is also to do with psychology. So she did talk about the 7 rays of theosophy. And with the 7 rays, it's sort of like, and why I want to cover this, and you also see this in things like esoteric astrology, and even with what the gorgeous Julie talks about. If we look into our soul, choosing to come down and incarnate in earth at a particular time, there's many different kind of astrology traits or kind of personality or theosophy traits and things that we can look into. So yeah, there is the 7 rays, which talk about 7 different personalities and things as well. So let me just close down this one. This was just a really cool map that I thought a lot of you guys would share. It's like a poster that goes into all of the different things and how they're interconnected from the geometries. And yeah, I'm thinking of ordering this. So it would be a really cool poster to have. So let's go back to close this one down. You can see here, this is another plane of our solar system, according to Alice Bailey. So you can see here, we've got down the bottom, the physical, then we've got the emotional, mental, intuitional, spiritual, the mondadic, and then the divine. So you can see there's like various different arrows and things if you want to get like a little bit more in depth around this as well. As far as sort of like us incarnating into this physical realm and into this physical body. Oh, thanks, Julie. If we look at it at our very earliest incarnation, and this is what we look at with the starseed readings too. So for those of you that have had sessions with me, you know that we look into about 20 different groups. For some of you, we will extend outside of this and travel outside of this local universe as well. And this is going to be fun to take a little travel journey today with you all. But yeah, what I talk about too is that some of us come from outside of this Andromeda galaxy. But when we look back to the first incarnation, or where we remember our consciousness first kind of like separating or coming from this divine aspect that we see at the top, we then see sometimes like where you'll step down throughout the layers of consciousness. And this is sometimes what's referred to as the fall, or coming into the 3rd dimensional reality. So our soul actually travels down a rainbow bridge. So not too dissimilar to what we see in the Thor movies, where they go, through the Asgard bridge or the rainbow gate. So it is referred to in theosophy and throughout a few other cultures as the Antakarana, which means the rainbow bridge. So us as little souls, when we're incarnating physically or traveling through that womb space of the mom or our mothers and coming into the physical dimension. And there's some amazing photos. We did talk about this in the I think it was the Mother's Day show that Elena and Julie and I did, where we talked about some photos and things of spirit coming out or starting to integrate into the physical. So yeah, we very much are souls on this journey. The earliest soul memory that I have is being around other lights. So I remember being a gold and a pink frequency light or vibration. and around many different other colors and being around a bigger light. So it's like around that God light or universal wisdom or consciousness instead of separating from that. So when we look at being a soul as well, and you guys know that I talk about this in a lot of the shows, but we're not just on a linear journey. We are multidimensionally coexisting in multiple time-space realities, just like in Doctor Strange. I won't be sharing one of those videos today because it will get taken down for copyright issues. We can see here, we've had this in another show too, but you can see the person sort of peering outside the dome. And this is also more of kind of like a Vedic approach to looking at things. This is a Navajo, which my grandfather was Navajo as well. So you can see here too, we've got void space down the bottom. So we have done shows on black holes. You see that it talks about the holy people, the black world, the blue world, the yellow world, the white world. And then we see here the glittering world. So yeah, really interesting. There is a Navajo channel that you can find on YouTube where some of the beautiful elders do actually go into the full creation story of this. So for those of you wanting to look more into the native side, that is really, really interesting. And I'm just reading a few of your comments. That's so beautiful. And I would love to hear you guys in the comments as well, if you remember like what it's like or your earliest memory. And I hear people talking about remembering to be in womb space and things, and I find it fascinating. So this was more kind of looking into the Vedic side, and we covered this when we talked about the different Vedic Vimanas and also the Vedic model of the universe. So you can see Mount Meru in the center, which is around the Himalayas. Now, remembering we talked about in that show that it had a huge magnetic field to it. And it's even rumored that if you touch foot on Mount Meru with bare feet, that you disappear into other dimensions. So we know also with places like Mount Shasta, that we have entrances into Talos, and there's beings that exist in their celestial light body format there, rather than this physical, I guess, garment or meat suit, as some people refer to it. But yeah, you can see here, we've got all the different lokas as you go up. And you've got like the Brahma energy in the upmost realm. You've got other universes off to the side. As we get down into the bottom as well, you can see the lower lokas. And in this, we also see this featured, as I shared in the other show, in I think it was the King Kong movie. They go into the center or the journey into the center of the earth, and you can see them talk about some or show some interesting things there. So there is supposed to be, when you enter into Telos, there's supposed to be crystals that emit kind of their own light frequency. So some people talk about there being like an inner sun or a light that that illuminate some of these places in the inner realms. But remembering this is very much about frequency. So we can go visit a place. And I just shared in the Mason Jupiter community a photo a photo montage of my trip to Uluru, and you can feel the frequency coming through this. So as you enter any kind of place in nature that has a sacred connection, I always like to put my hand on a rock or a tree and tune in on a spiritual level and ask for permission to step onto country or to enter. And I wait until I get a yes. And usually you'll have animals, whether it's lizards or birds or things, that will give you a physical sign too. So very much it's all about being frequency specific, just as we will be in this little travel we're going to do today. So yeah, the crystals, they're definitely like a sun type frequency or emit some kind of an energy to it. And I'm just having a look. This was also another one. And I'll just click into English for a second so you guys can see. So there's various different models or planes or dimensions that people will put forward for the universe. Let me just close a few of these windows. We've showed this one before as well. So this is, Krishna laying back on the multiverse and parallel universe, and you can see the hexagonal type structure that we often see depicted in our realm or around the dome in certain movies, whether it's Hunger Games, King Kong, Truman Show, they depict, different things like that, or, the doorway opening up outside that simulated reality. So if we look at our dimension, the Earth realm, or this dimensional grid overlay or false matrix reality, it's really interesting to look at how we can raise our level of consciousness to perhaps see or to even catch a glimmer outside of this simulated reality or a computer program. So we can all become kind of like vibrational hackers, would be another word, to kind of hack outside this system. So a lot of this is done through raising Kundalini, activating the crystals in the pineal, and activating the crystals in the ears. So this is why I like binaural beats and different things. So this is another one, stages of initiation into the galactic order of being. So you guys might want to have a look at this a little bit later, maybe screenshot some of these and go in and read every different things, everything written on here, because there is a lot, but it does talk about emotion as well. And we know that with emotion, I didn't bring up the spiral of it because I want to get into other things, but we know that love has one of the higher vibrations, so does joy or peace. It is also said that authenticity has a higher emotional frequency that it radiates, even higher than love. So being your authentic divine soul self, which is part of what we'll also be doing tonight too. So let me just read a few of your comments. Psychonauts. Yeah, we're going to be like psychonauts tonight. This is going to be fun. And I just see. You know what? Because you've been there, Jody, as well, you can still tune back in. And, we hear about the masters being able to biolocate, even some of them being able to split their soul consciousness and to travel in 7 different places at once. Some of the masters and some of the gurus have been able to do. And yeah, it does make sense that everything is frequency. So what we have here, and I'm just going to close this little window for a second to play the sound for you guys. So let me go into this one, and hopefully an ad doesn't pop up. I set all of this up the night before, and sometimes we'll get an ad pop up. So this was on the Christos avatar. So you'll see that he has a lot of information talking about different levels of our universe and different levels of incarnation that we have. So with our 3D being like one of the densest, keep that in mind as you're watching this. Just waiting for it to load. Oh, and it looks like it's sleeping at the moment. Let me just see if I can reboot that for you guys.
You're down here on Earth, way at the lowest level, Dimension 1, Dimension 2, Dimension 3. You're in 3D, the third level of this entire thing. You're only the third level out of all of this. You're only the third level, and you think you're the shit in the center of the world. You ain't shit. You are shit. You're at the bottom. You're at the shit level. You're at the dying level, which you think is normal. It's not normal to be in a fallen system. This is a fallen system. This isn't a fallen system. This is following the law of one, and we're glorious. We're glorious beings in Tara, and we're immortal, and we're giants, and we're super psychic. Now, that doesn't mean there's no darkness. Remember, darkness goes all the way up to the 11th dimension, remember? Darkness goes all the way up to the 11th dimension. Here's their fallen system. It goes all the way up to 11.5, the phantom, the black hole space-time distortion. It's like the pit, hell, if you want to call it. So darkness only goes up to right before the Christed level. D12 is the Christed level. This is where Jesus comes from. That's why he was called Jesus Christ. It has 48 strands of DNA. See, most indigos will have starting 24. You're a particle universe, but half of your self, your other self, your doppelganger is an anti-particle universe. You have incarnations here. That's why there's beings with 24 strands possible. 12 on this side, 12 on that side. But remember, there's more dimensions still.
So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was a good video sort of showing the map. And I think that Christos guy also has that map for sale, like on his website as well. So this has been a big buzz. What I'm going to show you guys next in the, I guess, the spiritual community. And you'll know exactly what I mean when I click this. So let me bring this up. So we see here with Terrence Howard, so a lot of his information is based on Walter Russell's work as well. So I just want to give credit to one of the original people that, a lot of this periodic table. So you'll see here him explain it. I'll let him do the talking. So this was on Cosmic Wisdom 777 on TikTok.
But they don't show that hydrogen has the same tone as carbon. Same tone, same key of E, 40.5 hertz. If you were to take the angles of incidence or the tones that they create, their color, like you can turn color back into sound based upon it's the same wavelength, it's just twice as long or much longer. So there was a relationship between light and color, sound and tone, matter and shape. You'll compare Walter Russell's to it and you'll see something completely different. It's unwinding.
Whoa.
You'll see there's a relationship between hydrogen, carbon, silicon, cobalt, rhodium. They're all bonded as the middle point between two noble gases. So those things don't really exist. It's only one substance. Now, the problem is the first thing that we're able to perceive is hydrogen. That's the first visible element because before it is too dense for us to perceive it. But as you reach into the next octave, the carbon octave has two tones to it. It has a negative side and a positive side. The part where lithium behaves, lithium is contractive. Beryllium is contractive. Boron is contractive. But the moment you get to carbon, you balance it out. It gets to a perfect balance of plus and minus 4. So it's a double tone. So everything has an equal and opposite mate. Those other little elements, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, and iron, all of those aren't true elements. Those are isotopes. You'll see hydrogen sitting all the way over there by itself, but they don't show that hydrogen has the same tone as carbon.
So, yeah, I thought that was a really interesting video because if we think about in terms of frequency, and I'm just going to bring up another little video or a little picture so you guys can see. This was on medium.com. Matthew_Thomas did this recap discussion to do with Terrence Howard. But if you type in Terrence Howard periodic table of elements, you'll see this come up. It is in some of Walter Russell's older books. I think it's like a $300 book for those of you interested in looking a little bit deeper into this. But we can sort of see, and if you think about how everything is holographic, like with our DNA and everything too, it's really interesting because there's a lot of kind of like expansion and contraction or kind of like settling in to like different layers of density. And even just like, thinking of the crystals that I've got around, some of these will have different minerals kind of like more apparent. So we're carbon-based beings, but we are shifting to becoming more crystalline as well. So that's really interesting in terms of like frequency. What's also fascinating is when we look into the crystalline side of things, I also feel this will be us getting our memories back because we know that crystal or quartz in particular also is a computer storage method as well. So if we really connect into the crystals within the pineal and the crystals within the ears, this forms our little cosmic gateway, which is the key to getting out of this, the matrix side of things. And I have promised you guys I will do a show in the future to do with the gateway technique. And yeah, I'm just reading some of your comments. So Jake saying, super interesting. Some of the science gets my left brain tangled, but the right side can vibe with it. I totally get you on that. Yeah. And sometimes this is about kind of like feeling into it and just kind of letting the information drop in. It was funny, my friend posted a thing through the week, which was a kid with the book going like this, just pouring and scooping the information out of the book into his head. And I'm like, that's how I passed school. So, sometimes we can assimilate information. So some of these things that we're talking about tonight may just trigger. And I can see there's a couple of us in the group that perhaps learn a little bit differently. And as Tim said, alchemy in action, that is for sure. So we also see here too with the cathedral windows compared to cymatic frequencies. And I think I've showed this before, my beautiful friend Michael Lee Hill playing 432 hertz on his guitar, just with the A string, how it produces this beautiful toroidal field cymatic pattern with binary code that's around it. So literally everything is a frequency. It does vibrate. We're vibrating consciousness right now. So we're consciousness infused and vibrating at a certain frequency. And this is, sometimes when you meet certain people, why you kind of just vibe with them, or you're like really not so turned on by their frequency. So when we look at this down to an atomic level, and I've read this to you guys before, this is from the healing power of your aura. So we can see here we have a physical atom, and then I'm just going to lean in a little bit closer. On the outside to the physical, we have on the outer edge where these little bands or vibration is, we have a corresponding astral atom that also feeds into the spiritual energy back into the physical body. So we can see with this as well, there's also a corresponding etheric atom that has spiritual substance in the physical form. So if we think about it being physical, then we've got the etheric or the energetic side of things, which is, sometimes when we're talking about amazing things and we have the fairies around, we're really kind of like vibrating and drawing some of these beautiful beings around to us and with us as we're on this journey. But yeah, there is that corresponding astral atom level as well. And you will see this, I've got my beautiful piece of orgonite here from Carla. But yeah, you see here the ribbon orb. So it's almost like a freeze frame or catching like energy in motion. So sometimes you'll get like a feeling that there's something there. And we have shared this before, but for those of you that hadn't seen it, I wanted to play the fairies that were in outside my window just here when I was filming the cockatoos. So I think I originally did also put this up on Facebook for those of you that wanted to download it or kind of zoom in and have a little bit of a deeper look. Because it is a little bit harder to see on here. Let me see if I can bring it up a bit bigger. And I might just see if, oh no, it's almost played. So you can see just there was a little bit of a energy move and sort of go back up. When I zoom in, you'll see there's one come over the top of the branch. You'll see her little wings and everything, and one fly under the tree. See right there, you can see it on the branch. So, we are able to, with our cameras and technology, and some of them have been messed with, but with certain cameras, you're more likely to catch certain things. I've also used UV ghost cams in the past too. So let me pop that window down. And here is, let me just check some of, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Let me just see. Oh, cool. Yeah, the coasters are amazing. And, it's infusing, it restructures your water to H3O. So they're super cool. We can use frequency to program things as well. So, we can be programmed or we can program things, just like how crystals can store things. And I did write a note about crystal grids and things like that you guys can use as well. So if you are going to join us for the second part with the meditation, if there's any crystals that you want to set up around in your space, you can also do that too. And yeah, here we are with this picture of the aura. So this one is a universal life force currents form and sustain the auric field. Levels are 15-dimensional human anatomy, auric level chakra, hoverboard, body correspondences. So yeah, you can see that there's a lot sort of packed into this. When we're dealing with like a normal everyday aura, we don't necessarily look out into the full kind of dimensional interaction side of things. But I just wanted to sort of show you like within and without. So if we're looking at it on a physical kind of particle level too, and where we talk about like where we put our attention or energy as well, we're quantumly entangling with things like this. So this is why it is important to meditate, to have regular visits to places, galactically speaking, that, you know, bring in a lot of harmonious, beautiful energy too. So let me just pop this one down. And I'll just stop this little screen share. So I did have a few things that I've got. So in this book, it does talk about 24 different dimensions. It does go through like quite a few of the main ones. We also see that it talks about planetary logos. So, you know, Jupiter will have its own kind of consciousness. Earth or Gaia will have their own consciousness. So we can actually meditate and visit. Like I know for me, Venus is kind of more of a college, university level. In terms like dimensionally or frequency speaking, we can go to learn a lot from there. So I've just highlighted, I'm going to read to you this paragraph, which is on page 172. And it says here, ascended masters do not operate out of the astral plane. Because for Earth, it is the plane of delusion. By clearing and purifying your astral plane, they allow humankind to see reality more clearly. So this is really important to, you know, check in if beings are sovereign or if they love you unconditionally. We want to make sure we're doing regular clearing, smudging, this sort of thing. So it says here, so it's hard for us to free ourselves or to free yourself from this delusion on a personal level where the entire planet is one massive emotional fog. So this is what I sort of refer to as spirit saying the dark dream spell. So in this context, it's more important for such work can be seen. I've often asked the ascension masters to magnetically pull all of the etheric mucus out of my field if I feel that I'm feeling unclear. Masters such as Vimaris and Ludens or others can pull clouded energy right out of your field like an instantaneous vacuum cleaner. And I often use the vacuum cleaner visualization or analogy to send things into this. Oh, that's cool, Jake. You have that poster in your office. Awesome. So with the astral plane of delusion around the planet can also be likened to emotional smog. The masters on this path use pure astral energy, the science of magnetics to clear the smog and influence consciousness on a planetary level towards spiritual ideals. So yeah, Vimaris, which is an ascended master, told him that the magnetics also were used on the 7 planes or paths to higher evolution. And I'm just having a look. You'll see here as well, it's got that in here. So there's a lot of cool maps and information, tables and glyphs, and it talks about the different levels or the paths of ascension kind of broken down if you're into a little bit more theosophy side of things. The other thing I had to share with you guys is in the Keys of Enoch, and I'll be taking questions in a moment. So for those of you that want to ask questions on multidimensionality or travel or things like that, please highlight in all caps so that I can see them. So with this, I've just gone to page 75. Oh, hold on a sec. Spirit started me at 71. So with the picture, so we see here, oh, I see a few fairy energies. I'm gonna have to go back and check this out. Thank you guys. So we see here the Sphinx, and oh, for those of you wanting to check the name, the Book of Knowledge, the Keys of Enoch. This is by J.J. Hertek. And we see here, you guys are so cute. I love it. I love it how we all interact together. So we see here as well with the Sphinx. So it says the key to the pyramid Sphinx in the middle of the earth is high frequency. It's a solar vehicle given in the symbol of the lion, the sun, and the symbolic structure of the space-time pyramid, which gives all levels of evolution to our zone, the mathematical, astronomical keys to surrounding higher evolution. And I think it was Edgar Casey that talked about that the Akashic records were also hidden under the Sphinx. So perhaps the Sphinx is guarding an interdimensional gateway. Now, if we look at the Sphinx, there's also another Sphinx in the Grand Canyon. And it is also said, some people talk about Uluru perhaps also having been a Sphinx. So, I see these places as interdimensional portals that we can access with higher states of frequency and consciousness. So this might be somewhere that you guys want to travel in, astrally speaking, making sure to clear that astral mucus first. But what we see with this too, it talks about it being a solar vehicle. So the sun is actually an interdimensional portal. It is a place, and I have this in my soul star meditation that I've sent many of you that have had readings with me. You will find it for free on my website too, but it is where we interdimensionally travel because it's a portal or a stargate that we can also go to as well. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Jake. See, I love it. You guys have so much knowledge as well. So Jake has said Sarah Berkshman Combi has said, or has a book about the Sphinx and the information hidden inside or under. Thank you. That is so cool. So what I've drawn, Spirit kept giving me paramental and icosahedron energy. And when I opened up to this page, it was talking about it. So with this, if we look at a particle or the atom like we did before, it's often said that there is an icosahedron shape. So this little diamond type shape that I've drawn surrounding those kind of particles. So if we look at the particle being suspended within two pyramids sitting base to base, now knowing that the physical pyramids in Egypt also have that etheric underground energy that also goes with it too. Hey, Debs, thank you for joining us too. And you haven't missed the meditation side, so that's awesome timing. So when we look into this icosahedron field, this in sacred geometry is also related to the element of air. So what we think, what we kind of feel, we create. So this is interesting looking at this. So what I've highlighted here is, this is page 75, number 19. It says, to this end, the pyramid can be understood as the model for consciousness exodus from one third dimensional time set within the Earth's magnetic field into the multidimensional evolution controlled by Orion. So we know that the pyramids line up with Sirius and Orion as well. Oh, hey, Jenny, lovely to see you here too. So as well with this, it says the sacred region of the sky, the Egyptians called Ska or Sak, the Tibetans called Tak, so the Hebrews called Kasil. So hopefully I'm pronouncing some of those okay. In Egypt, they also talk about traveling in our car body. So this is why it's really important to train. And I've done other shows on astral travel, speaking with my gorgeous friend, Greg Doyle as well, who's an expert on that. So this is where, tonight, and I have actually got my astral travel tea with me. So those of you that are going to be with us for the meditation, if you want to make like a chamomile or like a lotus tea or something like maybe mugwort, sage, anything that's going to assist and facilitate this third eye opening will be really great. Hey, Lisa, lovely to see you guys here. Thank you, Jebs. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't block the trolls on here. I have to go in the back end later and I'll do that. So with this as well, it says the star shafts function as a theoretical mapping of the this is a really hard word, dynamic star channels connected to the magnetic and electrical grid patterns of star alignment. So it's literally talking about that shaft of energy coming up out of the pyramids is used to measure geophysical cycles and changes and polar wanderings, tectonic changes. It activates the magnetic gravitational wave codings for consciousness deliverance. Furthermore, the Great Pyramid was built before the last geophysical shift to instruct man in the awesome regenerating architecture of cataclysmic geology. So quite the mouthful. Oh, hey, Ben. Oh, I sent you a text the other day. You might not have had time to check it because I know you'll be very busy at the moment. Let's see what else Spirit highlighted. That's right. So we also have a highlight around light language too. So I've got a few different things here. But what I want to do is if you guys have questions, and so for some of those that aren't typing questions, if you want to go maybe run to the bathroom before we do the meditation aspect of today. And we also, if you can put your questions in all caps so that I can see them. But we're going to start out with having a look. And I also did get my Oracle deck out as well. So we might have a look into that today too. But let's have a look into why Spirit chose this topic on multidimensional travel and things tonight. Oh, yay. That's so exciting. I can't wait, Ben. I'm sending you and your family lots of love. So let's have a look and see what it was that Spirit wanted to guide us with the information in. And it's interesting. I'm actually feeling a very physical shift and change. They're giving me the word metamorphosis, and I'm seeing a star, which is interesting because we had Polaris, the North Star, come up into one of the readings in the community show and the announcement. If you haven't caught the special announcement, I definitely go back and watch that on Mason Jupiter as well. What I'm actually feeling is this beautiful, like white light, higher crystalline frequency and energy. So Spirit wanted to give us an attunement to this. So we'll be doing this in the meditation, but let's pick some cards as well. And I actually feel like a purification frequency-wise coming through with this. It actually feels amazing. I can't wait to get into the meditation and just sit with this beautiful energy that they're bringing through. Okay, so we have a few cards here. Let me feel into these. We've got 5 of them. So I do get light language come through with this as well, which we will be doing in, it's like Spirit just wants to launch into it. So I'm going to flip these over. So what we're also seeing with this is actually about like getting back to our true, the word coordinates is coming up as well. So what I'm seeing is there's a lot of rising up out of the sludge and actually trying to shift and move us out of a lot of the interference that's been happening down here in this. And we talked about it before, to do with the dark dream spell or to do with this astral level of mucus that we were reading about in, what book was it? The Beyond Ascension book as well. So we have a 8 of Swords and a 5 of Wands. This is what I talk about being interference and strife energy as well. Let me just check. Oh, I can see Jody B saying, I'm already feeling lightheaded. Maybe my higher self is already traveling. Yeah, I think the energy of all of us combined, we're already starting to move into this. So we have the card of the Hermit. So we see here, look at this. How amazing is this for what we were just talking about? There's the icosahedron and it's the sun. It's the interdimensional portal that's in the center of this. So we're definitely getting some beautiful synchronicities come through with the information we just talked about with particles and with atoms and with vibrating things. So yeah, 8 of Cups and the 9 of Swords, which we had come up the 9 of Swords before as well. And yeah, congratulations, Ben. I'm so excited for you and your family. So yeah, with this is about breaking free because we've got 2 8 cards, which we know is sort of like a holding energy. Saturn is what we see here and Pisces energy. So with this, it's like we're trying to break free or kind of like move up frequency wise outside of this. So let's have a look. I'm just having a look at what Violetta or Violet, same name as my beautiful niece. So hi, Solreta. I really enjoy watching your shows. I like the one where you brought the guest. Yeah, so I'll definitely have them back on. So Stephen and Evan Strong, my beautiful friends, up from near the Byron area. So yeah. Oh, and thank you. Yeah. But Kat, go log into the community if you haven't already, because I've just shared the little montage of Uluru as well. And I can see Deb saying as well, also the ringing in the ears, or going deaf before the birds sing in the garden. I'm having the same thing happen. And yeah, definitely amazing how we have different things pop up this way. So let's have a look if there's anything we should be looking out for in this meditation today. And already my cards have stopped, and we have the shaman card. So Prince of Cups. So he is my ET soul that has a foot in each world. So we see here as well expanded heart chakra kundalini energy being really, really important to focus on and to really run that frequency and vibration. Now, in other shows, you guys would have heard me talk about with the heart that we have a plasma energy in the pericardium sac around this electromagnetic organ that's pulsing and vibrating. So if we're also conscious of this beautiful fluid that runs up and down our spine, that cerebrospinal fluid, will also be activating a lot of this. And blue lotus. So if you haven't made a little tea or potion yet, I highly suggest that you make one to join us with this meditation. And let me just have a look. Oh, yeah. And I have seen some other people say that around Terence as well. So do take everything with a grain of salt. Don't believe everything as fact. And I can see Ken's got his blue lotus oil ready to go. Awesome. So we'll just get a few more cards just to have a look into if there's anything we should be on the lookout for in meditation. It's interesting. I just heard dissolving fear matrix as well. So we will flip these over. And Lisa, you are so right. Our heart is a portal for sure, definitely. And we have that featured in the alchemy card. So I think you're spot on and so attuned. So we see here as well, it's the heart where this alchemy happens as well. So, oh, and I can see Deb's asking. So with Blue Lotus, it actually has DMT or dimethyltryptamine components that help to, help to activate that beautiful third eye of yours. So with this alchemy, we're actually going to be integrating higher versions of selves as well. We have the Knight of Swords, so stating what it is that you want, your intention, whether it's out loud, that we wish to connect to, this higher dimensional plane that we're going to be working in. We see here as well, it's rising up out of this matrix, out of parasitic astral entity, thought form, consciousness, false creatrix realities, out of the dark dream spell, out of the astral smog or fog. We're creating movement and shift and alignment. So part of the reason of Spirit wanting to do it in this way, and me perhaps not just recording a meditation and doing it live, because we're going to be channeling at the same time. I have a couple of notes, but we're going to pretty much be just channeling with this. So what we see with this is Spirit actually wants to take us up and out of this soup even further. So let's have a look. Oh my gosh, this just fell out. So we have the Hanged Man. So with this is what I call the matrix breaker. So with the Hanged Man, he brings enlightened or illuminated consciousness. His frequency actually breaks outside of this, out of this vibrational world. Interesting, we have the sun at the top too. So let's get to it. And if you guys are listening, I do recommend, because we're going to play binaural beats, you might want a headset to listen to this. The music that I'm going to be using is by Christopher Lloyd, who is an Australian artist. And I have actually purchased the rights to this piece of music, and I've used it on a few different things. So we're going to be listening to that. So if you guys are ready to perhaps run to the bathroom really, really quick. So we're just going to take a few deep centered breaths and we'll start to tune in. While I'm just letting a few of you run to the bathroom, I just want to read to you around light language. So it says here as well, we're on page 207, from the Keys of Enoch, and it says the keys to future linguistics are in the scriptures of light, which are the codes of the luminaries. In these scriptures, every letter causes illumination of the divine to spring forth. This creates the passing of a universe within another universe's light and establishes in fields of consciousness depth of language alignment within the creative mind and universe. Who is the goodness renews the creation every day continually and speaks through luminaries. It also says as well, let me just find the little part. Oh, I've got so many little tabs. So we also see here as well, interesting artwork, kind of reminds me of He-Man for those of you that grew up in the 80s, but we see the black satin cube. And we see as well that there's a higher dimensional energy with the pyramid too. And we see like an activation of like rainbow light body energy too. So with this, I've also got, I'm just having a look if there was something else. So the knowledge of this language comes from a core memory of information. Oh, someone was just letting their presence be known. So it comes from a core memory of information being shared from by the higher evolution. So with this as well, they talk about only when man is able to be the Christ light once again, and we know that Christ light is in the upper dimensional planes that exist outside of illusion. And we know that this is specifically connected to our heart. So have this in mind tonight as we travel on the meditation journey about connecting to this Christ consciousness heart level that is outside of the illusional veils as well. So it says here as well, so when we connect to this Christ light once again, we will be able to use this language of light to be a co-participant in the higher worlds of light. So he will then acquire the language of the sons of the light, and which the first members of the Adamic race had they originally incarnated onto the planet as well. So anyway, it's a really interesting book. Definitely worth just even Googling that with light language and see what comes up. So light language, when we talk about it too, it's not that it's just, like one person that can speak it. I was lucky that I've had it since as early as I can remember. My memories go back to around age 4, and awesome to see a few of you guys having some tea. Looks like we're ready to go. So it is said that when people hear light language, they can be activated and go on to speak it too. Light language is depicted in the spiritual flame aspect in the Keys of Enoch. You see here how there's an activation, like receiving downloads of this cosmic energy or flame. This is also something Rudolf Steiner talked about too, that letters or symbols appear within a flame. So that's just to give you a pictorial kind of representation of what light language is. For me, it's like each different symbol or like tone represents a download of a book or knowledge. So it's like we're downloading cosmic file. So without further ado, let's get this music going and start the deep breathing. Okay, so just starting to gently just relax and tune into your body. Just taking a few deep breaths in. Just connecting your body, whether you're in the chair, laying on the floor, it doesn't matter if you're sitting down or laying up with this. What I want you to feel is that vibration and that buzz that is around you. So just feeling that frequency, that vibration, that buzz vibrating in and out with your breath. So as we're breathing in, feeling our frequency coming into the core, connecting into our beautiful heart chakra. And like I was describing before, feeling that plasma energy around your heart chakra. So as we're breathing out, we're exhaling. We're pushing out any vibrational frequencies that no longer resonate with us. Breathing in, connecting to your soul frequency signature, feeling that vibration increase. That's right, you guys are doing amazing. I can feel each of you connecting in So we're definitely forming that cosmic consciousness link between our beautiful soul family group. Even if you're watching this on the replay, we're feeling you guys with us. So you might feel as this Kundalini energy around the heart starts to activate, and this is our intention, you might feel a bit of a back and forth flow. So if you feel yourself rocking, just let yourself go with it. Just really vibrate back and forth. You're doing amazing. So we're now going to just draw or imagine, visualize, or even feel from this beautiful golden heart center, feeling a frequency of gold extend and push out and totally surround your whole aura. So this is one of high vibrational protection. It's one that's aligned with the universe, with God consciousness. You can even call your guides and your angels that love you unconditionally to join us on this journey. So just taking a few more deep breaths in. Just inhaling all the way in as deep as you can, holding that for a moment. Feeling that beautiful rock of the energy dance through you, and exhaling all the way out, releasing anything that no longer serves you. Pushing it all the way out through your body, almost like we're squeezing water out of a towel. Now breathing all the way in, bringing that beautiful energy in through every cell, feeling that life force enter and excite the cells within your body, feeling your energy extend further and further and further out, knowing you're safe and protected. So Spirit's just going to guide me with a little bit of light language. So just feel into your body where this activates for you. We'll have plenty of time to write anything in the chat, so don't worry about that. Alonara tokaya na hai lo solenar. Malonara tokala na hai onara te. Iashalanara takayo nara lear. Alo sonara tagalo kaya nara teara. Malo nara takalo sonara takaya ya letora. Ia nara luka nalu so teara neara. Ia nara tola kaya lu so niatar. Malo no alu kaya lu so ne hartakai. So Spirit is welcoming us to this beautiful journey. And what I saw, the English translation was that we all came into the knowing that this would be taking place before we even incarnated, before we even entered the physical realm, that we would be coming together as a beautiful group to hold this light, to hold this frequency, to help shift us into this next level of consciousness, to help dissolve any kind of illusion or disillusion, to dissolve any of this astral smog and transcend up and out of it. So I'm also seeing that with this, what Spirit was showing me with that beautiful activation was that we're also connecting and coming into a beautiful cosmic alignment with our higher crystalline versions of self. So just gently feel and connect in, maybe even stretching or reaching up into this beautiful alignment with the crystalline version of yourself. So just feeling that beautiful vibration come into sync. As we're breathing in, we're connecting deeper and deeper in with our cosmic version of self, with that essential light that we were when we first separated from Source. So just breathing deeply in through the top of your crown, down into your third eye, feeling that light gather around your throat chakra, feeling it enhance and amplify your beautiful magnetic pulsing heart chakra, feeling this come all the way into your beautiful solar plexus, enriching and enlivening your sacral chakra, feeling that rock back and forth of the energy as we're raising this frequency together. And just feeling your root chakra activated, sending love all the way down into our beautiful Gaia, into our earth. And we're just going to now extend that beautiful heart chakra energy, that golden sphere around your heart and the plasma field around your beautiful heart, and extend that all the way out, actually cleansing and purifying anything that no longer needs to be there, just pushing it out now, sending it through a beautiful vacuum all the way to source. And with this beautiful golden sphere that our bodies are now encircled in, this is actually our vehicle that we're going to travel in today. So the intention that Spirit showed me with creating this meditation and channeling this, they gave me a little kind of pinpoint that we would be connecting to a higher galactic version of our group. And so with this, that's where we're going to be traveling today. So just feeling your frequency raise, feeling that vibration increasing in potency, and just see your beautiful golden light, your auric body, starting to vibrate and lift off the ground, actually feeling it physically like a hum, and just seeing us floating collectively together, and just feeling or getting a sense of a beautiful golden door that's above our crown chakra, perhaps even up through the roof in your house, going further and further and traveling up towards this beautiful golden sun is where you'll find this doorway. So traveling up outside of your house, outside of our earth realm, and into this beautiful energetic space or portal of the sun. So just holding hands as we go through this beautiful golden doorway, feeling that light enter your aura and activating things to an even higher, finer vibrational frequency, feeling the collective energy of all of us increase. How easy this is for us to travel and do together. So as we enter this beautiful golden doorway, you'll see that we're entering a temple. And with this beautiful Colosseum or temple, you'll connect in with your guides, with your family, with our soul family, and with our higher selves. And what Spirit is showing me a vision of is there's actually a crystalline version of you in this place. So I want you now just to frequency-wise match up with this higher version, this crystalline frequency version of self, and just sit and just be present and just meditate and feel that connection, that love that this crystalline version of you has for the physical 3D version of you choosing to come down, to step into our dimensional reality of Earth. And know that that was not an easy decision, and you've all been specifically chosen for your gifts, your unique abilities. So just have a chat now with your higher self. You might even feel a bit of a merger taking place if that feels right and safe for you, and if it's in your best and highest good, feeling that crystalline version of you activate even deeper into the physical. And I want you to ask this version of you, if there's any unique gifts and talents that you're to activate here in this earth plane and dimension. So I'm going to leave you here for a moment, and then I will guide you with some light language again. So just letting Spirit give you the message, whether it's in words, a color, a vision, a symbol, letting that just drop into your consciousness, into your field, expanding on that sense of knowing. It's easy and effortless. You guys are doing amazing. I'm so proud of you. Yashalanar toka nahalu hartar. Mialanar toka yala halsanarte. Yashalanar toka yonahalu teranar. Yasalanar toka yonalete. Mialanar toka lusanar toka yanar. Yashalanar toka yanar toka. Miasalanar toka yanar. So Spirit is very grateful for each and every single one of you joining us on this journey and for going through this activation, pulling ourselves up frequency-wise out of anything that is no longer in vibrational alignment, helping to encode your crystalline DNA and crystalline body into the physical, helping to raise the vibration and energy for the collective consciousness. The other vision that I saw was a beautiful magenta light peering out on the horizon, coming into our earth realm. We're actually receiving and downloading and bringing back with us when we return this magenta energy, which is a fusion of heart chakra energy and higher spiritual vibrational gifts and alignment with our crown chakra and third eye. So I want you to thank that higher part of you for connecting with us today. Please also love and hug your guides if that feels right for you. Know that you can return to this place or come back to this meditation or any other of my meditations at any time in the future. So just start to begin to perceive this beautiful golden auric field around you of protection, and just tuning in and listening to the music, feeling yourself gently coming back, guiding, feeling your frequency coming back further into your physical body, back into the earth realm. And I'm just going to count down from 5. And when we return to 1, knowing that you're fully back in this room, in this realm, in your own vibrational frequency. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feeling your authentic vibrational self. Maybe even having a stretch. And I just want to thank you all for joining me on this beautiful journey today. And I just see 111 on my screen as we come back in. So I'm so grateful for all of you guys in this community and for joining me. I'm going to leave it here, but I will see you next week. And for those of you that are going off to sleep, I wish you sweet dreams. All right. Sending you guys love and blessings.